everyone, Once Bitten here at the Battle Report. So, we go to Game 4 of the 6-game U.S. Masters 2015, and I'm pitted against the player whom I play more than any other person. We both of us just looked at each other like, oh no. We play each other all the time, and quite frankly, I don't want to say he's scared of me, but I'm certainly scared of playing him and his army. It's always a risky thing. I know we've both scored major wins against the other, and we've had some very tight games. Um, yeah, so not ideal, but it's going to happen. This is the opponent that we helped each other make our lists, so there are no surprises here for us. On the left, he's got a unit of 9 bulls. He threw his BSB in there. That's the only change, but he moves them back out soon enough. He's got 3 lead belchers, and then a big unit of iron guts with 3 characters. Now that unit of iron guts has a banner of swiftness and a lookout noblar. The tyrant is just he's really tough all on his own, and especially with the other trickster shard. That's an item that a few years ago it didn't seem like many people were taking, and now it's just everywhere, of course, and it's just brutal against Bretonnians. Now, because this is a Swedish comp tournament, instead of going with the level 4, he went with 2 level 2s, both fire bellies, one with a dispel ring, a dispel scroll, and the ruby ring, and then another with hell heart. So, he's got the ruby ring plus 2 signature lore of fire spells, so he can really use the Kindle Flame, I think it is, the lore attribute for lore of fire, to his advantage, and it just uses them really well. Hellheart wrecks me, and that's certainly something I'm aware of, because most miscast results really not just hurt my spellcaster, but they could just destroy a big unit of knights. He has a couple of saber tusks, and then he has the unit that I think just really defines this list, and that is a unit of scouting man-eaters. They're 8 strong, full command. They have a brace of pistols. They scout and have poison, and they're luckily they're not stubborn, because that would just be everything. But you can only have 2, and scouting just can really be a thorn in people's side, of course. But a lot of things that scout aren't that much of a threat, but these guys are such a huge threat, and they're a decent little threat shooting, and in combat they are certainly a big threat. I can tell you that I found out later that my opponent ended up playing, out of the 6 games at the Masters, 3 of them were against Bretonnians. And against the other 2 Bretonnian players, he scored a 20-0 and an 18-2. So I think our long practice sessions helped him against playing Bretonnia. Yeah, I was playing this game a little bit intuitively, meaning I didn't really have a great plan going into it. I saw the table, I saw that hills block a line of sight, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can use that to my advantage. Basically, until he pops up over that hill, he can't charge me. And I've got trebuchets that can shoot at him, and I've got comets that I can put right on the other side of that hill where he's probably going to be congregating. And with my really mobile peg knights, I don't have a real set plan for how I'm going to get some kind of great charge. All I know is I'm going to get the peg knights around him and just hopefully frustrate him and comet and trebuchet him, and then see if I can get if I can isolate his man-eaters, and then later on isolate his character / Iron Gut Death Star. So yeah, I got some archers here doing a whole lot of nothing. They were really just when I was deploying, just trying to save some time. Got trebuchet way over here. My feeling is if he wants to go get that trebuchet, he can. He would have to, if he's into saber tusk, I might just use my peg knights to take care of the saber tusk before doing other things. And so not really worried about keeping all my stuff together. So of course ogres move first, and he moves up like you can see. So yeah, look at his man-eaters. There's not a whole lot he can do with them. He can't step on the hill unless he wants to be triple charged. And I guess he could, and then just countercharge with his iron guts, but it's still kind of a risky proposition. And if he doesn't step on the hill, then there's a big grouping there right between the man-eaters and the iron guts, I can start just putting comets right there and kind of force him to make a premature decision. So anyway, still his turn. He does that, and yeah, I think he shoots at the. I think the man-eaters shoot at the peg knights. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. There's no significant shooting first turn. Yeah, there's that. And my general can see him and charge him, but there's no way I'm sending my general in there alone. And yeah, his iron. I know his man-eaters shoot at my archers, kill a couple. And we go to Bretonnian turn 1. So, look at the top left and top right. Peg Knights fly all the way around. I don't have a set plan for them. I just like where they're at. A unit of Peg Knights won't do enough damage to the Man-Eaters or the Iron Guts, even if I get like a flank charge. It's just not going to do anything. Now, if I can get 2 Knight buses in the front of one and Peg Knights in the flank, now that's a different story. Yeah, so again, no set plan here. Peg Knights are going around. And I kind of shuffle things over, so now the hill's completely hiding them. I think my unit on the right can see the man-eaters. Now I moved over so they can, and the man-eaters can't see me. But I don't expect that situation to stay the same. I'm not really looking to win big, win early here. I'm really hoping to get his 2 big units whittled down, so turn 5 or turn 6 we can get some charges. And I have a couple, I've got, besides the BSB, I've got 2 paladins. One of them is in this leftmost unit, and the other one I think is in the rightmost unit. And I'm very happy to put the paladins up there, do a double flee, and then combo charge everything. But even then, I need these units weakened a little bit. Trebuchet, one of them lands in the man-eaters, and between all the wounds it does, it kills 2 of them. And I'll take it. That's 25% of that unit, and that really helps. Look what he's doing that Sabertusk, by the way. It's a clever little ploy. The Sabertusk can see my archers, but my archers, they can see him, but he's going to get a hard cover save, so they can't shoot him very easily. And when he declares a charge, I can do a standard shoot, but again, I'm going to be hitting on like a million, and then he's in combat, so it's a nice little move there. And we go to Ogre's turn 2. So one Sabertusk does charge the archers. The one rule that didn't really affect much, but was kind of fun, is I didn't have to take a fear test because I cause fear because we have the braziers. And he's -1 to hit me, so he's hit me on 4s with 3 attacks. I'll have him 3 attacks hitting on 4s. The difference is he's strength 4 to my strength 3, he's toughness 4 to my T3, and I'm probably going to lose no matter what. I will be steadfast, but there's no leadership nearby. At the end of the day, I don't care too much. There with the man-eaters and iron guts, you can see he's just kind of forming his own line of battle facing the side of the table, and I'm comfortable enough with that. At least he can't force a charge on me yet. So I'd really like to get that Sabertusk out of the way. I don't need that thing sticking around for any late game heroics. But other than that, if you look on the left, his bulls, that Unit 9 bulls, I'm not really worried about, except, if I can get a lance into him, I'm not worried about him at all. His lead belchers turn around to face my peg knights. What I don't really need is for those lead belchers to be able to reform and shoot me every turn and slowly whittle me down. I think if my peg knights charge them, I should win combat. He should be stubborn and stick. And then, as long as I can do a fair number of wounds, especially when I charge in, I think I might be able to win the war of attrition there. Maybe. And if nothing else, as long as they stick around, even if they stick around for the rest of the game, at least that unit's not shooting at me. So considering a peg charge on the left. Yeah, and it looks like he took a character and added him down here because I killed 2 man-eaters. Yeah, so his front rank would be his command group, and then if the top from this point of view, that's one of his fire bellies is down there. There's shooting at me, and after combat, yeah, the Sabertusk just he did enough to beat the archers in combat because of where he placed them. The pursuit put him towards my trebuchet. And we go to Bretonnian turn 2. So here's a place where I made a mistake. Basically, I charged the paladin out of the topmost unit at the saber tusk. My thinking is I will almost certainly at least win combat, overrun, and I'll be able to kind of block up his iron guts. But my thinking is he charges my paladin, I flee, and it puts him to where, in my mind, my units could see him. It should put him like up near that where that 8 is on the right. And but the problem is, if you look how my knights are facing, my knight buses, even if that happens, only one of them can see that unit, and they're not going to win a charge. They're not going to win a combat if they charge in. So I think it might have worked charging the paladin at the saber tusk, but I didn't complete the plan. I didn't maneuver my other units such that they could benefit from it. So epic fail. Peg knights in the top left corner of this, they charge the lead belchers. Yeah, there's that. There's that. And a comet goes off. So this is great. Because these guys, this is another thing I was kind of thinking. If he charges my paladin and after I overrun the saber tusk and I get away, he has a failed charge and there's a comet that's going to explode right on him. I really need this comet and probably another one. This one alone will take the man-eaters down probably enough where they're manageable. That iron gut unit's going to take a couple comets, I think, unless the trebuchets start helping out. And one trebuchet decides to start helping out. So we took another 2 of the man-eaters down. The man-eaters are down half of their starting number, and that makes them very manageable. And the peg knights, oh my gosh, the peg knights totally failed. What I don't understand in hindsight when I'm looking at this picture, and this is just the problem, it's just a memory problem, is I think my opponent, when he uses dice to count wounds, counts how many wounds are remaining, I think. And if that's the case, that means I had a charge and 5 wounds. That means I must have won combat. So let's say he's counting wounds. That means I would have done 4 wounds and a charge is 5. That means he must have done 5 wounds to me. And if I did 5 wounds to him, that means he must have done 6 wounds to me to win combat by a musician, and then I lost by 1. But anyway, he did at least 5, if not 6 wounds to peg knights in order for this to have happened, which is just something I had not counted on. It was nicely fought, lead belchers. So yeah, that's the in a game that I expect. Well, I don't know if this game, at this point in the game, I don't know if this is going to be a tight game or if this is going to blow wide open. Because if I can get his iron guts weakened, I think I can take care of both those big units with the characters and have a big win. And if I don't and he can force combat, he's going to mop the table with me. But if it's tight, that's a big chunk of points I just lost there with the peg knights. After combat, yeah, I couldn't catch a saber tusk. I'm not too worried about that. And where I'm located, I actually kind of like that. He charges me. I've got swift stride. He doesn't. And I might just be able to get away. And if I can't get away, I should be so far away, towards the edge of the table, that might buy me some time. But what would be ideal, again, if I can just get away and have a failed charge and have the comet come down. So we go to Ogre's turn 3. He charges the paladin. I flee. I roll a 3, I swear. Why are you kidding me? Darn it. I don't know if it was a 3. It might have been a 5. It was a really low number, so he very easily caught me, reformed, and yeah, he's still hidden behind the hill. So, what? Darn it. He takes the fire belly out of the man-eater unit, parks him in front of one of my night buses so that I can't combo charge the man-eaters, and then he just walks the man-eaters up so I can't I guess so that I can't combo charge the iron guts, but I couldn't combo charge the iron guts anyway because the hill was in the way. It could be that he marched his man-eaters up because if he stayed back, he thought the comet might have just killed the rest of that unit anyway. So there's that. If you look at the bottom, I probably didn't mention this last time, but he had a saber tusk facing my trebuchet, so I take a paladin out of the unit and just put it an inch away directly in front of the saber tusk so he couldn't charge through me. And of course he's not going to charge my paladin, so he goes around him, and so my paladin's just dancing around. And yeah, there's the paladin that couldn't run for crap. And over here, so notice too, by the way, what I did in my last turns. I took the prophetess out of my unit, and I had her back here because she can still buff my units. She can still cast comets. I'm trying to get away from the Hellheart. The problem is my opponent has all these Lure of Fire spells he can chuck at her. Now, she does have a 4-up ward against anything magic. She's at MR2, and then she has the natural ward the Bretonnians get. But still, that's not something I want to play around with. And so we go to the magic phase. I don't remember all the details, but what I do remember is at the end of the day, he got I think a mid-level boosted Firebell spell off, and I just couldn't stop it at that point. And it goes off, and he rolls, like, I guess it's 2d6, and then he rolls, like, 3. And then he does, like, 1 wound, and I ward save it. I mean, it was just awful. Just awful. Yeah. And then it lays a flame template down on these knights and kills a couple. That's not going to be enough to save that dude. And these dudes shoot at my general, and he's got a 2-up rerollable armor save. And it's so funny. I say that with a question mark because I change my list all the time, and sometimes I forget. But I'm pretty sure I gave the 2-up rerollable armor save, and he's just shrugging off those shots. So we go to Bretonnian turn 3, and this is where things are getting exciting. So yeah, we charge the unit into his oh, by the way, the comet didn't even go off, so it's kind of wasted, I think. So they charge his Fire Belly. I think I'm going to get easy points of that. He's actually hard to kill. All he has to do is issue a challenge. Then I'm not going to kill him, but I should be able to beat him in Overrun. A combo charge, a big bus of knights with my BSB and my general on the Pegasus into his Man-Eater unit. That's always scary for me, but I have so much combat res, I should be fine. Then I take the Knight Errant unit and I just walk them up to sacrifice them to save me from getting countercharged by his Iron Gut unit. Now, again, in hindsight's, so easy, but in hindsight, I'm thinking, if you just would have overrun with your general, he would have probably gotten out of line of sight of the Iron Guts. If the unit at the bottom overruns, it can make room to where my BSB's unit can reform and make sure that it's behind the hill and can't be charged. And I probably could have just marched my Knights Errant out of the way of the Iron Guts and not been in their line of sight. But in this tournament, I was just being very cautious, and I was thinking I would rather give up the Knights Errant than risk giving up the general / overrunning into my BSB's unit and just a lot more points. And the Knights Errant are actually cheaper than a unit of Peg Knights, so it's not like the points are devastating up there. At the bottom, I take the Paladin down there, and he is just facing the Saber-Tusk, so that when the Saber-Tusk charges my my Trebuchet, if he doesn't kill it, I should be able to kill him. Matter of fact, if he does kill it and overruns, I should be able to see him and charge him. And yeah, she's down there. I think by this point he's tried to use the Hellheart and it didn't reach her. So now she just can't join the units, and she's just trying to make sure the Saber-Tusk can't charge her. Yeah, so there's this always. I mean, this is gut time for Bretonnia. Can you handle it? And after combat, it goes like this. So the unit at the bottom beat the Fire Belly, overran. When I look at the pictures now, I don't see how I was going quite at that angle. It seems like I should have been going more to the left. But again, sometimes it's easy. You do it correctly in the game, and when you look at it later, you forgot about something. I don't know. I don't know why they're facing quite that way. But what's kind of funny now is that comet still hasn't gone off. There are 3 pips on that comet, and I'm the closest damn unit to it. So what I needed to do is either roll like 3 inches or roll 8 or 9 inches so that it's going to hit my unit, but at least it hits his Iron Guts unit. But as it is now, I don't like that. I reformed the BSB's unit. They're in a pretty good position because no matter what happens with the Knights Errant, they can see the Iron Gut unit. The problem is, I lost some knights fighting the Man-Eaters, and that unit can't take on his Iron Gut unit alone. My general just reformed, because had he overran, he would have just been closer to the comet, and I should have reformed him to where he was facing more north, to see around the hill, because he's actually just facing the hill. He can't see anything. But even with my general and the BSB's unit, I'm not sure I want to take on that Iron Gut unit. It's way too risky. The Tyrant alone can handle a block of Knights. I mean, he's just nasty. So we go to Ogre's turn 4. He charges the Knights Errant. His Lead Belchers are starting to work their way towards us. His other unit of Bulls are sitting there. The only thing keeping those units back is that Comet. So I guess I have that going for me. I needed to not go off. I mean, I needed it to have gone off like, 2 pips ago, but it didn't. Now I need it to not go off, please. And it goes off. It blows up my unit. It misses his unit by an inch. It destroys my unit. Then I fail my panic. I run away. Of course. Excuse me. I'm fighting a cold, and when I laugh, I start coughing. I'm trying really hard not to. It was so funny, even in the game. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, so the Saber-Tusk charges the Trebuchet. At this point in the game, the Trebuchet, all it can really do is maybe force panic tests on the 2 smaller units, the Lead Belchers and the Bulls. After combat, yeah, the Iron Guts and Tyrant do what they do, which is they killed 7 Knights Errant, and they're going to run off the board. And then he just reforms, and he's behind the hill. So I can charge with my BSB's unit in the front and Peg Knights in the flank. And I don't know what the math is on that. I am not confident about it. He just does so many wounds. And he moves his Tyrant up. The other Trickster Shard means that I get a 5-up ward save that has to be re-rolled. So I don't get many ward saves against all those really high strength attacks. I don't like it. So we go to Bretonnian turn 4, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I just back up. So if he wants to get on the hill, then he can do it. Otherwise, it's a tight enough game right now. By the way, if you look at the bottom, the Saber-Tusk didn't kill the Trebuchet, so I countercharged him. So I'm going to get the Saber-Tusk. That doesn't really matter. But I've got a Fire Belly and a unit of Man-Eaters, and I'm up by 200 points because of a comp difference. So I've got that going for me. He has a unit of Knights Errant and a unit of Peg Knights, and I honestly just have no recollection about the scenario objectives. But we both know that it's close. So the question is, are we complacent letting it be close, or does one of us want to take the bait? Whoever steps on that hill is going to force the issue. And I'm thinking it's not going to be me. Anyway, so the Saber-Tusk dies, and we go to Ogre's turn 5. He shuffles over a little bit. Yeah, so this was a very clever. His Iron Gut unit, he moved him over, so the Iron Gut unit can see my BSB's unit because they can see the back of it because I'm so long. But my BSB's unit cannot see his unit, which is, interesting. Now I can't charge him. So, I mean, if I could have charged him with pegs in the flank, with my general, with the BSB's unit, I might have considered it. But now BSB's unit can't charge. Huh, that's interesting. There's another Comet down, by the way. Looks like there is. And, yep, the Comet didn't go off. We go to Bretonnian turn 5. And, yeah, I don't take the bait. I just shuffle the BSB's unit over so that he can't see me. I bring my general over. I don't know why, except maybe just to threaten something else. Go to Ogre turn 6. Ogres, he knows I can't charge him on my turn, so he just takes a Fire Belly out till they have a breath weapon down on my BSB's unit. Maybe force a panic, maybe get some spells off too. Faces my Peg Knights that he knows they're not coming in. And yeah, does some shooting and magic and gets his unit, but can't quite get him down to 25%. On my turn, there's nothing. I mean, the Trebuchet scatter, the magic doesn't do anything, and that's the game right there. It was a real fun game to play. I don't know how the battle report comes across. It was a cagey game to play, and I mean that in the best of ways. I mean, I really like playing this guy because he's just, damn it, he's good, and you just can't make a mistake against him. So I think when the game ended, we both thought it was a 10-10 draw. We added everything up, and it actually was a 12-8 victory to the Bretonnians. So if you're following the tournament battle reports, my first battle report was incorrect. I said that was a 10-10 draw. It wasn't. That was actually a 12-8 loss. It was an 8-12 loss for me. And this game was a 12-8 win. So in my mind, I just drew both games because that's what it netted out at. So out of 4 games, 3 of them averaged out to be a 10-10 draw, and one of them was a big 20-0 win. So I wanted to average 15 points a game, and I'm sitting at 12.5 points a game. So I'm actually kind of okay with these draws because I just keep on holding out hope that that's okay. I don't have to win big every game. Don't lose big. At least draw or get better, and then if you get a couple big wins, that really swings things. And I was happy. I was plenty happy to get a 12-8 victory against in this game. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has several functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, you can favorite the video. I want you to know that I appreciate it when you do things like that. It feels much more interactive than simply me talking to a screen. So if you're willing to do so, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and you certainly are welcome to share this video on your blog or other websites if you are so inclined. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.